Hello everyone, in this session we'll be learning about Python. The first question which we should ask is why do we need to learn Python? And the answer might include Python works on different platforms like Windows, Mac, Linux, and even on Raspberry Pis. Python has a simple syntax similar to what is in English language. Python has syntax that allows developer to write program with fewer lines than other programming languages. Python runs on an interpreter system, means that code can be executed as soon as it is written. This means that prototyping in Python is very easy. Basically, writing code in Python is very easy and you can do the same amount of work as compared to other languages in Python in a very short amount of time and with a short uh, amount of code. So that's why we should learn and start learning with Python. Now let's get ahead. The most recent major version of Python is Python 3, which we shall be using in this session. However, Python 2 is also there, but the update for Python 2 has been dismissed because of some security updates. So in this session, we'll be learning about Python and we'll be starting with introduction and installation of Python. Then we'll look for simple Python syntax with some hands-on experience. Then as you write some function in JavaScript session, similarly, we'll write some functions in Python. Then we'll know about different type of data structures in Python. And at the end, we'll learn about classes and object and going into object-oriented programming. Python was created by Guido van Rossum and released in 1991. First, it was made to teach people about programming, and that's why making it close to English language. But since then, it's getting popular and popular day by day. Now it's used in most of the places because it helps write readable, clean, and logical code. Let's look at features of Python one by one. As we looked about it earlier, writing code in Python is very easy. There's a short amount of code to do the same thing, which as compared to other languages might take a long codes. Python is an open source and a free language, which means right now you can go into Python community and can even contribute in the development of next Python feature. But not every language is free. For example, to use the development environment of JavaScript of the Java, you need to pay to Oracle, whereas Python is totally free for any operating system. Because of availability of many libraries in Python, it's easy to create graphical user interfaces in Python, which in turn means that you can easily make apps in Python for phone and for Windows or for laptops. Python supports object-oriented approach as Python is itself an object-oriented programming language. We will learn more about object-oriented programming in later in this session. . Python is a high level language, which means you don't need to worry about the CPU allocation and how the things work at inside the CPU. But it does not mean that you cannot access those features in Python. As Python is an interpreter language, here the code runs line by line, which makes it easy for us to see if there is some bug or not. Python is most highly and portable language where to run a Python program, you just need the Python interpreter. You can write code in one laptop and send it to other laptop and there it will run the same. So it does not depend where you develop your Python code. It can be Mac, Linux, or Windows, but the program will remain same and work same. And that's why it's very portable. Python is very dynamic language. Here, you don't need to worry about the input size. Like in other languages, you need to specify before using any data, you need to give the amount of data that you'll be using. But in Python, because it's very dynamic, you need not to worry about the input sizes. Those are handled by Python itself, making our coding easy. One of the best features of Python is that there exist a lot of arrays of libraries written in Python, which you can use using a single line of code. All these libraries will eventually are highly efficient, and that's why you need not to write your own piece of code. You can just use these freely available libraries to build your project. As Python is written in C only, that's why you can write C, C++ code inside Python and then execute them. You can use you can use Anaconda to install Python. Anaconda is a package manager for Python. What it means is that it is easy to manage libraries versions using Anaconda. You can download Anaconda from the link given below. Note that do not forget to tick the add anaconda to my path variable while installation.